Hey everybody, Health Coach Erin here. Hope you are having a great day. It is another warm one here in the Bluegrass State. We are headed up into above the mid 90s today, and so it's kind of perfect for the conversation that I had planned for our time together on our walk. Let's talk water and what's the big deal? So I think water is a pretty big deal. Water is basically essential for so many functions in the body that it would be impossible for me to list all of the functions in our short little video here. Just to name a few, my goodness, we have kidneys, organs, tissues, respiration, joints, body temperature regulation, brain function, energy levels, all the way down to a cellular level. Water provides the ability for cells to function, and so it's as deep as you can go, and we need it for just about everything that our bodies do for us. So in relating this to conversations about our health, clearly something being essential for life definitely relates to health. But many of the conversations that we have, we're talking about weight loss or maintaining a healthy weight. Water helps us regulate our appetite. And so for those of us who are either trying to get to a healthy weight or maintain a healthy weight, that appetite regulation is really important, because if we are well hydrated, if we feel hunger, we actually know it's hunger, and that's a sign that we need to eat food. So many times we actually mistake thirst for hunger, and so that can cause us to eat when we either don't need to or before we're ready, and it can make us feel hungry in between meal times and snack times. Water also aids in our digestion and in our stomach function and colon health. So water is one of the things that helps prevent constipation and just feeling uncomfortable in general. So it keeps all of those systems operating at maximum capacity and the way that they should be. If we're thirsty, we're likely already dehydrated. So I don't like to tell people to just drink when you're thirsty. A sipping throughout the day type of approach tends to ward off that thirst and ward off the dehydration, because once we feel that, we're already there. Other signs that you may be dehydrated, and there are lots of these too, so this isn't an exhaustive list, but headache is one of those. I can tell you the second that I am dehydrated, because it puts me at much higher risk for not just a headache, but also developing migraine. So hydration is key for me, avoiding a definite headache and sometimes migraine headache. Other signs: dry mouth, skin, and eyes. So some of us, like me, are blessed with just dry eyes in general. My eyes just don't produce tears or oil as they should. But if you typically don't suffer from dry eye, watch that. If you're starting to notice that your eyes are feeling dry, if it's not something in the environment, you may not be getting enough water. And definitely dry skin is an indicator, and certainly dry mouth. So those make sense, but sometimes the dry eyes we may not equate to dehydration. Also, if you're tired or sleepy, water helps with our energy levels. We said that. So if you've gotten sleep and you feel like you're adequately fueling your body with food, think about water. That may be something that you're missing. Muscle cramps. This is another one, especially for my exercisers. It's important that everybody has adequate water on board, but it's really, really important if we're exercising. And that doesn't just mean in the summer. We can suffer from dehydration in the winter as well. Just because it's cold, we may not feel those signs and symptoms as early on, which is another reason that the sipping method kind of all throughout the day is a good approach to that. One last sign or symptom that you are experiencing dehydration is dark urine. That stuff should be clear to light yellow. I prefer clear because I know that means I've got plenty of water on board and all of my tissues and organs and everything are well supported by that water. And so I always, one of the choral directors that I worked with when I was in high school used to say, pee clear. That's true for hydration. So make sure you pee clear. All right, so we've talked about why it's important and what signs and symptoms may be if we aren't getting enough water or experiencing dehydration. So the next question that comes up a lot is what counts? So I have to tell you, I'm a water purist. I do not count things like tea or coffee or juice or anything like that. When I say water, I mean 100% pure water. Dr. Sears, the physician who developed the certification program that I went through to be a certified health coach, if you've heard us talk about green light foods or the traffic light eating, Dr. Sears tells us, and I agree with him, that water is the only green light beverage. So anything else starts moving into that yellow or even red category. And the reason is, and I like his reasoning for this, you don't need any other liquid to survive. Water is essential. That's why it's categorized as the only green light liquid. So keep that in mind when you're reaching for juice. Another reason behind that is other beverages tend to contain sugar or they tend to contain caffeine, and both of those things can dehydrate us. So stick with water, or maybe just don't count that coffee. Maybe have an extra glass of water to kind of counteract the dehydration that may come from that. So lastly, how much should we be getting? So you'll see varying recommendations on this. Some people stick with the straight 8-ounce glasses of water a day, but I tend to be a little bit more flexible on that. But I think for adults that 8 glasses of water a day is kind of the minimum. Another way to look at it is for adults, 1/2 to 3/4 of an ounce per pound of body weight per day. So if you take your weight and divide it by 2, that's roughly how many ounces of water you would need. I would say we need to increase that when it's warm outside, if we're exercising. And a little bit of extra water on board is not going to hurt you because we just get rid of that. It's usually not an issue at all. For kids, the recommendations are a little different. Kids need a little more water. They are moving and grooving, usually a whole lot more than we adults are. And so the recommendation for kids is 1 ounce per pound of body weight per day. If you want to know more about water, want to know creative ways to sneak it in, or if you have questions in general, let me know. I'm here to help. We'll talk again soon. Thanks for being with me today. Bye.